Hi, I'm Pete Thompson with Pete Thompson Christian Counseling. Tonight, I'd like to talk about addictions. I'd like to talk about a strategy that helps people in the past that I've worked with battle addictions and be more successful in reducing addictive behaviors. First off, let's define addictions. Addictions are things that we do to excess as a form to comfort ourselves when we're trying to avoid an emotion or avoid a feeling or deal with anxiety or something else that's really stressful. We start doing a behavior that then we get comforted when we're doing that behavior. And so the what we get from that addictive behavior is we get a burst of dopamine. And with that dopamine, that is a thing that helps us right the ship. If we're like a boat on the water, um, when we start listing one way, we're starting to sink. We're stressed out. We're anxious. We're worried about things. Our boat is listing in the water. So when we do that behavior that gives us dopamine, it rights our ship. It gets the ship rebalanced, and so that we can continue to do stuff during our regular day. And so dopamine serves that purpose to help us kind of cope with things that are unplanned and events that are difficult. And so what happens is we need dopamine on a daily basis to kind of help us handle life and the difficulties of it. And so the enemy knows that. And so the enemy is going to try and trap us in behaviors that give us instant gratification or instant feeling good. But those behaviors that he wants to trap us in have a negative take back on them. So whether you're on your computer and you're looking at pictures you shouldn't see, those pictures initially looking at them give you a boost of dopamine. But then when it becomes clear that that secret is out, there's a huge negative take back component. So say you got 30 points for looking at something you shouldn't have seen. When it becomes clear or you become found out that you're looking at it, it's a 90-point withdrawal. And so that is the secret to the addiction is you need dopamine, so you do something, you get caught, and so now with the stress of having to deal with the consequences of something that you've done, now you need more dopamine to cope with that. And so people will end up doing activities that they know are harmful and are addictive by nature, but they keep doing them because they don't know any other way out to deal with the addictive nature and to kind of have life be balanced. And so what I tell people is that are dealing with addictions is we got to find alternate sources of dopamine that you can use and go to regularly when you're stressed, when you're anxious, when you're concerned, when you're dealing with an uncomfortable situation that can comfort you so that you can get through that situation. And what I do is I encourage people to get their dopamine from their relationship with God. Praying to God, worshiping God, putting a song on the radio that you enjoy singing along gives you dopamine. Reading God's word gives us dopamine. And the thing with that dopamine, there's no take back. So let's look at the two different types of dopamine. One is the destructive dopamine, the looking at porn, the eating addiction, the spending addiction, the fishing addiction. If you're going fishing every night of the week to deal with difficult stuff, you're not only neglecting your family, but you're neglecting all your other responsibilities because you're doing that behavior. And so to get out of those negative, destructive patterns, we get our dopamine from our relationship with God. We can get dopamine from, playing cards with our wife and watching them smile. We can get dopamine from playing with our kids. And with those dopamine sources, there's no take back to them at all. You get to keep that. And so there's nothing that you lose later. And so it's a secret that I've stumbled on in doing therapy with people that God has shown me. And so I'm trying to teach that, just like I want to teach you guys that this are hearing this, as a way to bless you. And so in summary, we want to get our dopamine from healthier sources that don't have any negative take back to them. And if you have further questions or want to know more about this subject or these ideas as a way that maybe I can bless you through my ministry, please give me a call at Pete Thompson Christian Counseling. I'd be glad to work with you. Thank you.